What's going on, y'all? My name's Rob. Welcome back to the Kentucky Chew. Alright folks, appreciate y'all tuning in. Let's talk some whiskey. Alright, so we got another episode of the Budget Bourbon Brawl, and we are finally in the Elite 8. Here is what is left standing. Just a little recap here. So we've got Weller going up against Buffalo Trace, the Wild Turkey 101 versus Old Forester 100, and then we've got two benchmark products that are now going head to head. We've got the Single Barrel and the Top Floor, and then Early Times Bottled and Bond going up against Old Bardstown Bottled and Bond. Been pretty interesting so far. So we did start with 16 whiskeys. We were keeping this between $20 to $35. Some surprises for me. If you've been following along from the first video on this, a lot of these actually had not had before, and so this has personally been fun, but it's also shown me bottles that I should have been buying a long time ago. And for anybody new out there getting into drinking whiskey, enjoying bourbon, maybe even collecting a little bit yourself, so far, for the most part, there's a few that I wasn't overly too crazy about that I'll talk about in the later episodes when we recap this entire thing and find out who the winner is. But overall, this has been really cool and really good. Been very surprised with all these products. Let's dive in. So one thing I wanted to do to make this a little bit more interesting, throughout this whole entire process, obviously it's been blind. We got one whiskey going up against another one, back and forth, winner moves on. Now that we're in the Elite 8, I also had my wife pour these again, but I do not know what's in either one of these glasses. I thought that would make it a little more interesting now that I have tasted every single one of these products. I'm definitely not going to be an expert on all of them or be able to pick out exactly which one's which, but I wanted to throw a little bit, make it a little bit trickier for me and just truly pick up what I'm getting in the glass, what I think is the better product, and that's going to be the one to move on. So the 8 bottles that we just showed earlier, these two is from one of those 8. I just don't know what it is. It could be the benchmark pairing, it could be the Buffalo Trace and Weller pairing, I don't know. She poured them, she picked it, and we're gonna find out. Keep finding out what is the best budget banger, the best budget bourbon. So, cheers y'all, happy chewing. Okay, getting a very good traditional whiskey scent, a warm vanilla, a little bit of sweet cherry, not a whole lot of oak. Very nice though, very inviting nose on this one. It's like warm smelling, like sugary sweet. Yeah, pretty good nose. All right, we'll see how the chew is. That's nice. That is nice. I'm liking this. Good nose, good taste, very solid whiskey. I'm getting a strong vanilla in this one. Almost like a little bit of like caramel too, just like it's got a nice mouthfeel. Very good mouthfeel in this one. Really enjoying that so far. I'm gonna put it down. I don't want to taste it again because I'm liking it. I know I'm gonna go back and forth on it. So whatever's in this glass, that's a hot start. Glass number 2 smells good. A little bit fainter compared to the first glass. Like it smells good, but I feel like I'm having to like search for it a little bit. The vanilla's in there. The oak is in there. It's light. It smells light. So I don't know what's in either one of these glasses, but our ranges here as far as proof goes, there is an 86 proof product out there. That's the benchmark Top Floor. And then the highest proof one now would be the Wild Turkey, the 101. All the other ones are 96 to 100 proof, so gonna be pretty close. This has a nice nose. It's just lighter. It's pretty similar scent to the first one, just not as strong of a scent compared to the first glass. So let's see how the chew is. Ooh, you know the feeling you get when you taste a whiskey and your whole body warms up? I got that with this. It was really nice. I'm getting a lot of warm vanilla notes tonight so far. Definitely out of both of these products. It's gonna be a tough one, folks. Not really sure. both are really good. I'm really enjoying both of these. I should have done this such a long time ago. If you're out there and you're just now starting to collect whiskey and you think you have to chase down the allocated bottles, I'm telling you, you don't have to. There are good products out there. This first one just has a really good nose. Second nose is similar, it's just faint. I gotta like really inhale to get anything. Oh man, this one just, I really like this nose. It just has like a warm richness to it. Like a scent like this is what I envision a charred oak barrel to like kind of smell like. Man, that's a really good nose. And the taste matches. It's got a good mouthfeel to it. Very consistent, a good finish, just all around, well-rounded. That's what I like to say about a product like that. A good nose, good taste, strong finish, well-rounded product right there. The first glass just tastes richer. These two, they're very similar to me. I'm not getting any like drastic differences in them. You know, honestly, like I wouldn't be able to pick them out as far as like different notes or flavor profile. This one just tastes richer. I'm getting the notes a lot easier. You're tasting like a warm vanilla sweetness with it, a hint of cherry, nice well balance of the oak, you know, all the things you would hope for, I imagine, in a Kentucky product. And at this price range that we're doing this in, this is a very good whiskey. All right, I'm gonna go with this first glass. The nose is better, the taste is richer, the finish is good, and for that reason, I'm just getting more out of whatever's in this glass. This one's good, and by no means am I saying that I dislike it. I'm just saying it just wasn't as rich as this first glass. So for those reasons, I'm going with the first glass. We'll have to wait till the end to find out what it is because I can't look until we taste the other one. So we're gonna move on to the next pairing here. All right, got our next pairing. Again, I don't know what's in either one of these glasses. It's two of the 8 products that were shown earlier, but your guess is as good as mine. Let's dive in. Okay, this one smells a lot more like a true Kentucky whiskey, like a true Kentucky product. Not getting nearly as much sweetness in this one. Not getting as much as like a vanilla sweetness, just getting more of like a sweet oak. Good nose, I do like that. Definitely different. A really light taste. Easy to drink, very easy to drink, but light. I'm gonna assume it's pretty low proof. I'm just guessing though, because again, I don't know what's in any of these glasses, but just kind of simple. I think it's just a simple whiskey. It isn't a bad thing. Sometimes that's what you're looking for. It's just a simple whiskey product. No surprises. There's a lot of different finishes out here in the whiskey world now. A lot of creative things being done, which I'm a fan of. But you know, there's a lot of good things to be said about just a good traditional whiskey, and so that's pretty good. Definitely was lacking in finish though, and I think that's just because of how light the taste was. The minute you swallow it, it was gone. No mouthfeel or anything like that. So moving on to the second glass. This one's a lot bolder with the nose, but I'm getting a stronger scent of cherry, a sweet cherry. Maybe just like a hint of floral, like if you're out in the garden. Definitely smells sweet, whatever it is. This gets a lot harder when you have no idea what's in these glasses. I mean, I know it's one of the 8 products that we have lined up, but you know, I just realized this and mentioned earlier, I hadn't had a lot of these products. Out of these 8 products that have moved forward, the only 2 I've had are Weller Special Reserve or Buffalo Trace, which very well might be one of the blinds we've done today so far. But that means there's 6 products in here that I've only had one time, and that's on this channel and everything that I've shared with you. So this is proving to be very difficult, which I was wanting to be. I like to be very transparent with what I'm tasting and what I'm getting from a product. And I just felt like when we get this close to the winter, if I knew what the label was to begin with, I might, you know, if I'm sitting here looking at early times and old Bardstown, you're thinking, well, I know it's one of these 2. A little bit of biasness can creep in somehow. On the nose, I'm getting a sweet cherry that I mentioned, or just an overall sweeter nose compared to that first glass. But the taste is different. I'm getting almost like a warm cinnamon, and then the finish, I'm getting some vanilla there right at the end of it. And so it's pretty well balanced, and it definitely has a better mouthfeel compared to the first one. Definitely lingers a little bit more. Gonna have to go back and forth here a little bit. Okay, going back and forth now that the palate's warmed up. We've had a few products. Going tick for tack here. My first glass, I'm getting some peanut in it now. Strong peanut. Not quite sure what I said earlier before this point, but now I'm getting some strong peanut notes in this one. I think I gotta go with the second glass, and it's not so much because of a specific tasting note. It's because the nose is better. I'm just getting more of a fullness whenever I take an inhale with it. The taste is just more well-rounded, picking up some of the traditional whiskey notes that you want with that. And then the finish is really good. Like, I'm getting the vanilla on the back end. Like, I'm not getting it there in the beginning at all, but on the back end when you swallow, it lingers a good amount of time. It's got a good mouthfeel with it, and I like that because I do enjoy higher proof whiskeys. None of these are higher proof. You know, I'm talking 120 to the 130 range. Those are really good when a distillery knows how to put them out. And by no means I'm saying that I get that in this glass, but I'm getting a good mouthfeel with it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one here. Okay, well, let's find out. All right, so here's what the wife picked out for me tonight. And on one hand, this isn't too surprising. On the other hand, I am a little bit surprised, and people are probably about to get pissed off with me. So, I'll start with the benchmark. So, the second blind that I did in the video ended up being the benchmarks here. We got the top floor going against the single barrel, and the single barrel won. So now that I know what was in those glasses, not too surprising with what I was getting. The only surprise I will say in there is the peanut. I'm not sure where that came from. Not very common with Buffalo Trace products, which both of these are. And so I don't know where that came from. I don't know if that was just my palate and everything getting warmed up with the whiskey and whatnot, but not surprised that's a single barrel one. I mentioned on the one glass that it was just like fleeting. It was leaving almost as soon as you smelled it. It was leaving almost as soon as you taste and swallowed it. So not surprised that the single barrel is moving on. It's going to the final four. Punch this ticket. On this one, if you've been watching and you paid attention so far, one of these bottles, I've never had any of these bottles until we started doing this. On paper, people love Early Times. I see it in everyone's list. The black, I think it was a black screw top before they switched it up. People love it. They go crazy about it. They think it is a lot of people's favorite value whiskey. This is becoming very hard to get. I mentioned that I had to wait for it to come in for me to even purchase it from some of the connects that I have. I'm just gonna say it. Old Bardstown won. Now, for me personally, what I was saying in my last videos, I'm not too surprised. I don't know what it is about this bottle, but I'm really enjoying it. The nose on this thing is incredible. If you don't like whiskey, you know, maybe your wife doesn't like it and she's like, why are you drinking this all the time? Pour a glass of this, let her smell it. I swear to you, it smells like a dessert. It does. It smells like a warm, rich creme brulee dessert. It is so good. The Early Times is good too. This one was hard. I can see why I had so much trouble with it while I was going back so much. Yeah, that one's probably going to upset a few people that I picked Old Bardstown over Early Times, but it was a blind. It is what it is. This is my palate, so please do not take anything I'm saying on here as the Bourbon Bible or anything like that. Go find out for yourself. Hopefully you can find these. I'm gonna guess Old Bardstown is probably in most liquor stores, and I'm pleading with you all at this point. Somebody go pick this bottle up and tell me if I just bought the best Old Bardstown bottle in the world. But I don't know. I'm really enjoying that one right now. I read a few articles lately. Bourbon Culture. If you haven't read it, I don't know anything really about it except that they put out a lot of whiskey reviews. I think they're out of Indiana. I actually read a lot of he's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of whiskey products he's tasted, and I think he's a pretty good writer. He put Old Bardstown pretty high, so I'm starting to think he and I might have a very similar palate just based on what I'm reading. He ranks all of his products between 1 and 10 also, but he'll do decimals, 7.6, 8.2, just all the way up, and he ranked the Old Bardstown pretty high, so I'm thinking maybe me and Bourbon Culture over here have something in common. But so Old Bardstown and the Benchmark Single Barrel are moving ahead. They're going to the final four. Next week's video, we'll have Wild Turkey going up against Old Forester 100, and we'll have the Buffalo Trace Showdown. We got Buffalo Trace going up against Weller, a few heavy hitters in the whiskey world. The Wild Turkey for sure is a heavy hitter with budget bourbon, and so we'll see. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Until next time, happy chewing.